Oh boy, oh boy. So, yeah, I guess when you, is the thumbnail working? Somebody in chat said the thumbnail's not working. What the hell? Okay, no, yeah, it looks good on my end. So apparently, guys, and I didn't realize this, but apparently when you do the multi-streaming, okay, and when you make a little error, you know, you miss one G and you got a typo in your title, there's no way to change it on all of the other platforms. The fuck? I don't get notification anymore ever since he started doing multi-streaming. What? Is that serious? Is that real? I know some of you guys got to be getting notifications, right? Wait, is nobody getting notifications? What the hell is happening here? Is the multi-streaming destroying our entire channel and community? Chat, is the multi-streaming destroying the entire channel and the community? That's what I want to know. And also, why is my camera all laggy, dude? I just want one day, you know, here's what I want. This is what I want. Everybody's always asking me, you know, like, what do you want, Josh? Like, what do you even want? Well, first of all, I want to crack this nice Pellegrino and have a sip of this nice bubbly water. So hang on, let's do this ASMR. You can probably hear the bubbles. If I like do it and put it, you can probably hear the bubbles, but the bubbles. Is that? Did you hear the bubbles? V, I'll go over that in a little bit, man. It's too early to be hitting me with super chats like that. I'll go over that in a little bit. So as I was saying, everybody's always asking me, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What do you desire? I just want one time to come in to the office and stream and have every single bit of this process just work the way it's supposed to go smoothly, to have zero errors, to have zero bullshit that I got to think about and all that stuff. I just want to flip on the on switch and I want to stream and I want to just do our thing. So that's like literally all I want out of life is for the bullcrap to stop and for it to just work. In your Twitch chat, do a little title and fix that title. What does that even mean? Now I have to open up the Twitch? Now I gotta open up the Twitch chat and see the Twitch chat? Sheesh! Rosie says, watch the first and second episode of Echo. Very mid and uninspired. Not bad, just blah. I'll finish it for Vincent D'Onofrio. He had better be in it more. Holy crap, man. You guys are just... you guys are just, like, coming in hot with the hot takes and the topics, you know? Can we, like... Can we, like, ease into it a little bit? We're going to talk about Echo. It's on my script here. It's on my script. Echo is kind of dope, question mark? Yeah, so we're going to talk about it. I think I probably like it so far more than a lot of you guys. But can we just ease into it, for God's sake? From 0 to 100, you know how we do, Josh. Yes, no, I get it. I understand. Look, I need to talk a little bit more about me first. Before we do all this, you guys are basically like, shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble, nerd. Tell us the takes. Show us the set list. Oh, we got a lot of Star Wars notes here. I got 3 pages of notes about oh my God, 4 pages of notes about Star Wars. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to say right away, and I guess maybe I'll say this again later. I just wanted to apologize to the Nerdvenger members, because we had a Nerdvenger stream last night, right? And we tried to do it in a way that we could get a lot of the Twitch people in there as well. And technically speaking, that did work. We did get a couple of the Twitch people into that stream. But what happened was, and the problem is, it didn't put out notifications for the rest of the members that are just on YouTube. And it's like, normally we got at least a couple hundred people watching, and it was just far less than that. And I saw people kept coming into the stream last night and being like, it took me forever to get in here. I can't believe I figured it out. I had to go to hell and back to get in here, because we just grabbed the link and threw it into the Discord. So we're going to try a better solution. At the end of the day, man, I want the Twitch people to be able to get access to the streams as well. Just seems like that might be super difficult to do, because there's no subscriber only like viewership thing over on Twitch, and mostly just because they're not really interested in like VODs that much, or like video discovery and stuff, right? It's all about just streaming, right? So we'll try to figure it out. I'm going to do some thinking about it and try to fix it. But it looks like what's probably going to happen next week is we'll just go on YouTube. You know what I mean? So that way, at least the paying YouTube members will all get their notifications and make it super easy for them to get into it. And then I think I'll be able to restream the YouTube stream maybe into Discord or something like that. Like I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Why can't you toss the notification to YouTubers? Why can't you toss the notification to YouTubers? So I could attempt to put out a like community tab thing that like linked them and like got them to it. I suppose I could do that. But the big difference is like the way it's set up on YouTube is if you do a members only stream, it's just going to notify the members. Like it's super easy. And also if you're like, let's say I just did it on YouTube and then I tried to give the link to the people on Twitch. It won't work. Like they won't be able to watch it, because it will like check and see if they have a membership on YouTube, and it'll basically be like, you don't have a YouTube membership, so you can't watch this. So nothing can be easy. It's weird, right? I appreciate all of the Twitch people. I appreciate all of the Bezos money that everybody's been giving us, and I will figure out a solution to it. But the thing I really wanted to say is just that I apologize, because last night it was a fun Nerdvenger stream, but just a lot of people were having trouble getting in there, and that's kind of a bummer. So we will figure it out. Such is life. These things happen, etc., etc. Roll with the punches, vis-a-vis, ergo, feng shui, all of that, okay? Darwin, I Ching, evolve. We'll figure it out. But also sorry, because I know that's a cool thing that we like to do together. So I'm sorry that we didn't get it all figured out last night. Community tab doesn't push fast enough either. Yeah, the community tab kind of sucks. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just difficult. You know what I mean? Which is kind of stupid. Shouldn't be, but it is. Okay. Next little thing I wanted to talk about, ladies and gents. And like I said, we're just kind of chilling a little bit, letting the stream get out there for folks and allowing more people to kind of trickle in. And then we're going to talk a lot about, Echo, Star Wars, and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I've been talking about this a little bit here and there. We, at least for me personally, like I'm really excited about the new Ultimates universe that Marvel is doing. And it seems like a really great jumping on point or jumping back in point. If you're a Marvel Comics fan, liked Ultimate Invasion. The Ultimate Universe one-shot was also really cool. So I was enjoying all that. Today is the official release of Ultimate Spider-Man. And this is, written by Jonathan Hickman. It's a universe in which Spider-Man never was bitten by the spider. I believe he's about 35 years old. He's married to Mary Jane. He's got 2 kids. And I don't want to spoil anything for you guys or anything, but I would just say, like, man, I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that comic. One of the first things I did today was fire that thing up. I bought, I have 5 physical copies of #1 waiting for me at the comic shop, but I also bought it digitally this morning just to be able to read it right away. And so we're going to do a giveaway. I don't think we'll do them today. I want to make sure I've actually got them before I decide to do the giveaway. But maybe we'll do a giveaway on Friday or whatever so that you guys can get or have a chance to get a copy of #1. And man, it would just be so good, like great. It would be so dope if this book blew up and if this run was very big and very popular. You know, Spider-Man's obviously a really iconic character, but, you know, frankly, Marvel Comics has tried a lot of weird shit with Spider-Man over the years, and it's not a lot of it lands, you know? Some of the best Spider stories over the past couple of years are actually not Peter Parker stories, which is kind of a shame. So, to me, this just felt like a really great Peter Parker story. If you love the character, if you've been a lifelong Spider-Man Peter Parker fan, it's a fantastic story, great setup, not a lot of action, but build up and set up for that universe, and just really truly fantastic stuff. Like fantastic stuff, a couple of surprises, a couple of twists and turns that you won't see coming. Incredibly emotional dialogue, like a really hard-hitting emotional book. And then a really cool kind of comic book ending that just sets you up for a lot of fun stuff to come. So, man, I would love if this book really blew up, was a huge, huge success for Marvel. And so I really, really enjoyed it. So I would recommend, and I'm telling you guys, highly recommend, who is writing Ultimate? Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman is the writer on it. He's written a lot of the Ultimate stuff. You've got Ultimate Black Panther, you've got Ultimate X-Men, and I think those will just be the 3 basic Ultimate books. Because, like, I don't know if they're going to do... I don't think they're going to continue... I mean, they might like end up doing like another like one shot or something, or like a mini series that wraps something up. But I don't think they're going to do like a bunch of Ultimate books, at least. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's what's going on. So yeah, just wanted to say that, man. Highly recommend it. Get out to a comic book shop if you can. Get yourself a copy of it. If you can't get a copy of it, check it out digitally. Let's go, man. It's a good time to be a Spider-Man fan, for sure. Wait, I'm still at the comic book store. Is there any more I should potentially get? What do you mean? As far as Ultimates books, or just in general? Batman good right now, too? Oh, I haven't been reading a lot of DC, to be honest with you. I'm way behind on DC. I didn't even read... I think I read Death of the Justice League, which was cool, but like I never really like stuck with what Williamson was doing. I really don't know all about like the Dark Crisis and all that sort of stuff, so I don't really know what's the deal with that. Ordered the symbiote suit cover variant. Yeah, I thought about getting some variants. Maybe if there's some variants in there today, because I would assume the shop would get a ton of variants and stuff like that, but I don't really know. You know, I'm not really sure how they order. But I'd like to believe there's some variants. But I got 5 regular copies that should be waiting for me, so I'm pretty excited about that. That should be pretty good. I would highly recommend it, man. Check it on out. Highly recommend it. I thought about reading it on stream, but I was like, you know, I think it's something that you guys should experience. I think it's a great book that should be read. And again, I'm hoping it's just the start of something, because it's really cool. The only thing to get is Unity. Yeah, man, I can't wait to get the letters back for Unity, man. I've been checking the email. So the letterer got swamped with a bunch of stuff over the holidays. And there was a couple of week stretch there where I would wake up every day, and the first thing I would do is check my email, because I was like, ooh, I wonder if the letter pages are in there, you know? And I let it go. I talked to him last week, early on in the week, and he was basically explaining he wouldn't be able to get to it until probably late this week. So we're midweek. So I've already started just checking the email every day, multiple times a day, because I really, really want to get Unity Chapter 1. I want to read it. I can't wait to get it formatted and get it out there for you guys, too. It's going to be really cool. This year, I will start reading more Star Wars EU books, says Ninja Ranger over on Twitch. What is up, Twitch? By the way, also just want to say what's up if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Kick, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. A little bit of a slow news time right now, you know, as we sort of start the year. But we actually do have a lot of stuff to get into today, and I'm kind of excited to get into it. All right, so let's start this way. How many of you guys gave Echo a shot last night? throw a one into the chat. Did you guys watch Echo last night? I want to know. Looks like a good bit of people did. So we were doing the Nerdvenger stream last night, right? We were watching some stuff about Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Great time with all of that kind of stuff. I've been really enjoying that. But, we stopped the stream at around 9 because I wanted to go try out Echo. So here's the thing. You guys know, like, I've been kind of saying for a while that I've heard really bad things about Echo, right? And a lot of people that I trust that had already seen it had already told me, like, man, this is really not good, et cetera, et cetera. So I always try in these situations to give it, its fair shake, to kind of go into it and try to be as open-minded as I possibly freaking can, okay? Now, before we get any further here, allow me to take just a little bit more sip of this bubbly Pellegrino. So good. Do you guys hear the bubbles? Too much zooming in on her face. Well, that's an interesting criticism. Okay. So, I tried the first episode last night, and, I sat down. Like I said, dude, a lot of mixed things about Echo yesterday. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but, like, on Twitter, a lot of people were talking about Echo. Even Monday night going into Tuesday, where the social media embargo lifted, a lot of people were talking about Echo. A lot of feelings, okay? A lot of feelings being shared, spread around, people, mixed opinions, this, that, second, and a third. I saw Paul from Heavy Spoilers say that he really didn't like it. I saw other people say that basically he took the land from Native Americans because he didn't like Echo. It's a really interesting time. A lot of feelings out there, okay? And for myself, I don't know. I'm at a weird place with Marvel. I was telling you guys, I didn't even finish What If season 2. I'm at a place where I am not going to keep watching Marvel content, and I'm not going to keep doing this unless I'm really enjoying it. Like, I don't want it to feel like homework. I want it to feel like I'm actually enjoying it. I have been reading a lot of comics, reading a lot of manga, watching a lot of great movies, watching a lot of great shows and animes, and life is just too short, and there's too much great content out there to continue to do this, to continue to watch this stuff if you're not really, really enjoying it, okay? And so with Echo, I kept joking with Elisa. I kept saying stuff like, hey, let's watch Echo together, but probably only going to need about 20 minutes because it'll be terrible and we'll turn it off. Because in my mind, I'm literally like, yo, the moment I'm not enjoying myself, the second I'm like, wow, this is really bad, I'm just going to check out, okay? Now, much to my surprise, I put on Echo, okay? And the first episode, I thought, was incredible. I'm just going to say it. I thought it was incredible, okay? It starts off with this really interesting kind of creation story of beings from another world kind of becoming human, and those are the first of that Native American group there. Choctaw, I believe. Help me out with that, chat. I'm not sure what the actual name of them is. But it starts off with that really cool scene. A scene in the past with the father. Classic kind of thing with car crash, orphaned, her legs gone, her dad. Dude, I'm sitting there, I'm watching this, and I'm like, when does this get bad? Because this is good. This was good. I was enjoying it. I was intrigued. And to me, I really enjoyed the episode. Now, I totally get a lot of the criticisms, and it is a bit ironic that they call it Marvel Spotlight, and yet a lot of that episode is made up of basically footage from a different show. It's archival Hawkeye footage that's put together. But for real, it's been so long since I watched Hawkeye, and I've kind of become very disenchanted with the MCU Disney Plus stuff, that I didn't mind that at all, and I actually felt like it was good for the narrative. Like, I understand it's maybe a little bit weird, and maybe it is some kind of crazy hack job where they just grabbed up Hawkeye footage and kind of put it together. But I gotta say, for me, it works. Like, it really worked. Okay, so I really enjoyed that first episode. I also felt like the action sequence when she goes in, and it's the part with Daredevil, but Daredevil's kind of the end of that sequence. There's like a big action sequence that happens, and then Daredevil shows up. Absolutely phenomenal. The choreography was brilliant. The camera work was brilliant. And look, like I said, I've been watching a lot of shit, man. I watch Reacher, and I really enjoy Reacher. But one of the things that's kind of interesting about Reacher is, like, bro, the choreography is not even that good in Reacher. Like, the fight choreography, especially in season 1, it's getting a little bit better in season 2, but it's just really limited. It's not badass. Like, it's just not of a really high caliber quality there. And I felt like the first season of Echo actually was, okay? So I'm sitting there, I'm watching this thing, and I'm just like, bro, I like this show. I actually really enjoyed that first episode, and I was intrigued. So then you go into the second episode, and I think the second episode kind of settles more into the real tone of the show, maybe what the show was initially going to be, which is really more about Maya and Kingpin, but also her hometown and all of, like, the drama built around that. But I gotta say, like, I enjoy the characters. I like the characters. I like the dynamic. I like what they're setting up. So far, I'm only 2 episodes in. Okay, I'm only 2 episodes in, but I like Echo. I kind of can't believe it. Like, I like Echo so far. Now, granted, you know, we're going to get into episode 3. We're going to get into episode 4. And we're going to get into episode 5. And, I mean, I have not heard really good things about how it ends. I've heard it's really abrupt. It gets really hack jobby, and then it's really jarring. So I wonder if that happens starting in episode 3. I wonder how long my sort of Echo high will last. But I gotta say, man, just watching it myself and being where I'm at with Marvel, and maybe it's a case of, like, expectations were set super low. But I actually really enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was great. And the second episode, I'm comfortable with that. And I actually do enjoy where I think the story is going. So I'm going to finish Echo. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, how much does this really affect Marvel, and how much does this really set up? I'm not sure. I love the Wilson Fisk stuff, man. I love the Wilson Fisk stuff. Like, the scenes with Fisk in Echo are phenomenal. And I loved, like, when he walked up and the cops were like, do you know who that is? And they, like, let him go and all that sort of stuff. Like, that really feels like Kingpin to me, you know? And whether you've read Kingpin in comics, or you read, or you've watched Kingpin in the old 90s Spider-Man animated show, dude, that was great Kingpin stuff. So to me, I'm actually interested. They've got me invested in Maya's character. And yeah, no, I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to see where it goes. And I know that's probably a curveball, but I like Echo, and I'm kind of enjoying it. Now, granted, again, we do have to finish the show. So maybe I'll come out on Friday and be like, guys, oh my God, I was wrong about Echo. It's a big steaming pile of crap. And wow, that really becomes apparent in the 3rd, 4th, 5th episode. But for now, what I will say is there were a lot of questions about why they kept this show, right? Because we heard all these horror stories. We heard all this, you know, and they were considering dropping it, all these different things, right? And I will just say, for me personally, just after watching the first episode, I was like, that's why they kept it. That's why they kept it, because that is actually super solid. And the fighting and the choreography and just the world building of, like, Kingpin and Maya and how it's connected to Daredevil, everything is actually really good and on point. So I got to say, dude, I got to give some love to the Echo show. And I would love to know what you guys think about it. I see a bunch of people saying that the shill checks came in and all that sort of stuff. Totally get it. And yes, they did, and they're quite ample, and I'm really enjoying it. Happy boy over here. But no, in all seriousness, I would love to know what you guys think about it. If you like Echo, do you not like Echo? where are you guys at with Echo? But for me, man, 2 episodes in, and your boy's liking Echo. Kind of can't believe it, but I am. So, there it is. Morning, Josh. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're doing well. Liam had a doctor's appointment, so I think I heard them. They just got back probably recently. But yeah, they had a little doctor's appointment in the morning. Liam is 31 inches tall. Let me look at this. Let's see here. 31 inches tall, 27 pounds. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Watched 15 minutes and was out. Porn acting? Really? So I didn't see that at all. I actually really enjoyed the acting. I thought the acting was good. I did. A C program at best after finishing it last night. So yeah, it's kind of tough because I can't really speak to how it's going to end and everything like that. But yeah, no, I thought it was good, man. I thought that, look at the name. Where's the name? Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all right. You know, like, look, sometimes trolls get to me for sure because I'm just human. But mostly I'm just like, you know what? It's kind of dope to be significant enough that people want to come into my streams and, like, try to troll or trigger. Like, that's actually, like, a good problem to have. You know, because in the attention economy, like, obscurity is a way worse problem to have. You know, so I try to remind myself of that. It's like, you know, look, on the one hand, yeah, man, fuck these buttholes. But on the other hand, it's like, hey, look, at least these buttholes are going to waste their Wednesday morning trying to trigger me. It's actually kind of a compliment. You know what I mean? It kind of means that I've done a lot of shit leading up to this the right way. So, hey, it is what it is. Maya Lopez played by Lana Rhoades. Interesting. I don't really know who that is, but I can assume where we're going with that. Porn acting is the best acting. Awesome. Here we go, chat. Definitely on the rails. So Josh likes porn acting. Awesome. Wonderful. What did I just say about not getting triggered? Ah! God damn it. What I've seen so far is pretty dope. Dude, yeah, I like it. I genuinely enjoyed it so far. You know what I mean? Genuinely enjoyed it. And all I could say is just, for me, it worked. You know, for me, it worked. Like, I'm brought into the world. It didn't, like, break my attention. Like, I felt like the mise en scène was good. Good acting. Kingpin carries. But it's the connection to Kingpin, and it's the whole Kingpin thing that is really like the beating heart of the show. I really like it. It's really cool. Thought you were unsubscribing, fam? Unsubscribing from what? Unsubscribing from what? What do you mean? My woman gave birth to a 49-pound Goliath. That is interesting. Are you talking about the birth of a baby or just like a really difficult stool to pass? That seems pretty rough. It was great, but fell short at the end. I mean, I could see that. Maya heals Kingpin hate with girl power. Peak MCU content. Well, I'll tell you what. I haven't seen that shit yet, but I'm a little triggered. Just by you saying that. I really hope that's not the way they do it. So far, I'm liking it. Is it all going to fall apart? When does it fall apart? Is episode 3 bad? Is episode 4 bad? He ain't got no girl. Yeah, I know, right? Probably for sure. Hey, Jacob, appreciate the 10 spot, man. Says, hey, Josh, love your channel and how you're always open-minded. Watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Highly recommend. Also, wonder about your thoughts on the highest demand skill post-AI and post-labor era. Well, obviously, that's a difficult question to answer. I think in the future, you will still need human juries. It's the best I can do for you right now. We'll still need a jury of our peers. I don't think we'll want the AI or the robots to make up the jury. So there you go. Holding out watching this weekend as I'm going to watch it with my son during school. Don't allow my kids to watch shows so they can focus on schoolwork. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, I really liked it, man. Who knows? Maybe it'll all fall apart. And I think ultimately it's not really going to move the needle one way or the other. It's not like the Echo show being better than expected is going to solve all of our problems or restore faith to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it just is what it is, man. It came out, you know, it's within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think every time you can do something within the universe that fans have a positive experience with, that's good. You know what I mean? I do think Echo is a bit mixed, you know, but I believe it's in the 70s on both Rotten Tomatoes critic and audience. So I do think there's a good bit of people that are really enjoying it. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was so ready, guys. And to look, this is how this. I'll be completely honest with you guys. Hand to God, 100%, no cap. I went up and plugged my phone in before watching the first episode of Echo because I wanted to make sure I had battery for when I would inevitably shit all over Echo. Like, I was ready, man. I was like, oh, Echo, here we go. I better charge up the phone. We're going to get some impressions. We're going to farm some impressions because I'm going to shit all over Echo. I was ready. I was ready, man. It's like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street. And I was just going to be so toxic. You know? You know how we do. And I sat there and I was like, oh my God. I'm enjoying this. This is really intriguing. The visuals on this scene with the clay people is amazing. Holy crap, do I like Echo? And then we're getting into this scene with her and her cousin. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I've got cousins. You know? Thought it was really interesting. Tragedy. Right into some Kingpin scenes. Some cool. Oh, and by the way, chat, can I ask you guys a question? And Mariana, I really appreciate you. I definitely want to touch on your question here in a second. Because, guys, if you didn't know, and I'm sure most of you guys know this already, but so John Roca last week had a meltdown that went a little bit viral. And it was spurred on in part by Mariana, our very own Mariana, who John somehow didn't think was like a female person. Mariana, our very own Mariana, triggered John Roca. She was the one that set him off. Isn't that amazing? Can we get some like hearts and some clapping emojis into the chat for Mariana? Doing us proud, asking simple, unbiased, level-headed questions that somehow still triggered the fuck out of John Roca for the win. That was amazing. Thank you for that. That was amazing, Mariana. That was great. Okay, I digress into the wait, what the fuck were we talking about? God damn it! I was trying to make a point about Echo. Let me take a sip of this bubbly. I don't remember what I was going to say. Let's just do it. Mariana's question. Let's just see. Mariana says, Josh, I'm meeting Gina Carano. Don't tell John Roca. I'm meeting Gina Carano at MegaCon Orlando. Why do the same group of people leave nasty comments on the announcement page? Don't like her? Just don't go to her booth. Plain and simple. Well, I mean, look, that one's actually pretty easy to answer. It's kind of an unfortunate thing. I mean, look, at the end of the day, here's what it is. A lot of people don't like Gina. A lot of people don't like people supporting Gina. And that's just what it is, right? But I think there's a difference between people that feel that way and people that feel really like validated or important because they've commented on it or hated it or whatever. And I think at the end of the day, man, it's one of the kind of sad things about social media and the technology age is that people really trick themselves into thinking that they're doing something or accomplishing something by like shit posting or virtue signaling online. Like I don't even think this is like a controversial thing. Like I think we all realize this. Like a lot of people will comment, virtue signal, try to feel validated, important, feel like they're a good person, all these sort of things via social media. And I'm sure maybe some of those people also volunteer and vote and try to make the world better in a more tangible way. But I'm sure a lot of them don't. And so, look, you know what it is, Mariana? This is what it is. We are in the attention economy, and basically every day online is like Thunderdome. So people need to be really loud and be vocal and try to win the internet Thunderdome. And so that's really what it is. And I think my best advice to you is to just recognize it for what it is, and just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, just keep it moving. Yeah. But hey, I hope you have fun. I hope you meet Gina. I've heard Gina's really sweet. Even people like Giancarlo Esposito has said that Gina's really sweet. Even what's the hashtag BPeace guy? I don't even know him by his name now. I just know him by, I say super flagrant thing, hashtag BPeace. What's that guy's name? Carl Weathers? Even Carl Weathers admits that Gina Carano's very sweet. So even some of, Gina's sweet. Gina's sweet. Hope you have fun meeting her, okay? So there you go. That's what it is. All right. Is that enough Echo talk? Is there any other Echo talk that we should get into before we get into this Mando and Grogu stuff? Man, I got a lot to say. I'm pretty excited to talk about all this Star Wars stuff. I am. I am. I just want someone who cares about Star Wars running it in the yeast infection. Awesome, Paul. Yeah, no, that's very creative. We're going to give you points for creativity. So there you go. 5 points to Gryffindor. What the fuck? Chat, this is too crazy. You guys are. Why is there so much conversations going on in chat that aren't about me? It should be about me. Not you guys arguing with each other. Holy shit. Love me some Gina. Huge fan of her since her fighting days. Yeah, I like Gina. I don't know what this number is here. I like Gina. I mean, I've never been super blown away by her performances, but I will say I actually felt like she was really good in The Mandalorian. I felt like she got some great direction and did really good in that. I also really like her in Deadpool. Yo, Gina's actually pretty good in Deadpool. She doesn't have like a ton of lines, but she nails some important lines and obviously nails the physicality and stuff like that too. Pretty good. Josh hair looking cooked. Is that true? Does the hair look cooked? Is that just a troll? I do need to get a haircut. I don't think I would say that it looks cooked, though. I felt like I'm having a good hair day. So, on you. They bald. Your hair fire. Nice, man. My man. What manga am I reading? Yo, I'm tearing through Berserk right now. So, well, let me go on a little rant about manga real quick, and then we'll get into the Star Wars news, okay? Man, Berserk's so good! Y'all ever read Berserk, or do you know about Berserk? Crazy. So I'd always heard about Berserk, and always heard it was like a masterpiece, maybe in the conversation for the greatest manga ever created. And just, it influences a lot of things. So Berserk's influence can be felt throughout pop culture, like in the past 20 years, 30 years, like a lot. And one of the, I don't remember if it was a Christmas, I think it was a birthday present. Elisa got me the original 97 anime, the anime from 1997 that touches on Berserk. And so went through that. I actually was already reading the manga, but I was not very far. And then I watched that anime, and I was like, yo, Berserk is mind-blowing, right? And kind of TLDR for people that don't know, the manga itself, it had like a... the first part of the manga was called the Black Swordsman arc, which takes place in like the future, and it kind of leaves off in this place where you realize there's this crazy past. The main character's missing an arm and missing an eye, and you're like, yo, what's that about? And at one point, the manga then goes and fills in the backstory, tells you all of the story that eventually leads to Guts, the main character, losing his arm and losing his eye. During that arc, which is called the Golden Age arc, that was when the manga itself became insanely popular, and it's one of the coolest, like really, really good, multiple chapters of manga, but also the anime really focuses on that, okay? And that ends in one of the most twisted, dark endings you'll ever see, which was the first eclipse. And if you know, you know, okay? If you're a Berserk fan, if you know, you know, okay? Crazy, right? So I had, basically read a lot of the Black Swordsman arc and then watched the anime, and I was like, oh my god. But I obviously needed to know what happens next in the story. That's the one thing. It's like it just stops. The anime just stops, and you're like, what the fuck? So you got to read on. Now I'm going through the Golden Age arc itself in manga form. Man, it is crazy. It's a tough read. Even more violent stuff. Some really crazy... like, so stuff you can't even say on YouTube without getting flagged and shit like that, right? Really, really twisted, dark stuff. But, man, what an incredible story. Like, an incredible story. And I'm just really enjoying the way that it's built and the way that they're doing this. I'm really excited to get through that and then kind of read beyond it. But, yeah, Berserk is fantastic. Grapes. Yeah, there's some grapes in there for sure. So if you're a big fan of that kind of stuff, it's super mature. It's kind of edgelord. Like, I'll be honest with you. It's a little bit edgelord. But I can see why it's considered such great work. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, man. If you have not, definitely check it out. Okay, let's get in to this Star Wars news, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, are you guys excited about this news, or are you kind of like, I don't know about this? Like, what do you think, chat? Obviously, we're talking about Mandalorian movie coming out, the first movie. A lot to get into here, but let's just start with that. Are you guys excited about the news, or are you not excited about the news? Let's see here. Damn you, Griffith. Yeah, so yes, no, it's good news. Yes, I'm excited. I don't know, man. I'm split. I get it. Hella excited. Mostly excited. Very excited. I don't know. Yep, thought it was a good move. Excited. Yes, cautiously optimistic. I only go berserk for Ram Booty. Nice. Good one. I was down for the movie when it was a rumor. Interesting. I'm confused. I'm a little confused, too. We're gonna break it down. Only news relating to Star Wars that would excite me is Kathleen Kennedy being fired. Look, I'm there for that. I'm there for that, brother. I really am. But we'll see. So, let us begin. So, yesterday, crazy news, Star Wars itself releases a press release, releases tweets, posts, all kinds of stuff on their official accounts. Grogu and the Mandalorian, or I think it's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Hopefully that's not the actual title, right? But The Mandalorian and Grogu going to movie theaters. Okay, going to movie theaters. And this is fascinating for a couple of different reasons. There are, of course, long-standing rumors. We've been talking about it for a couple of months. Big rumors saying Mando season 4 being turned into a movie. Then there were people saying that's absolutely not true. So I believe like Bespin, maybe it was Star Wars Newsnet. I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on this. But a lot of the scoopers and the people in the news for Star Wars were like, yeah, no Mandalorian movie. Season 4 is still happening, etc. Okay. Griffith did nothing wrong. Oh my God, bro. That's a wild take. I appreciate the love though. Thank you so much for that. And I'll go over it again in the Q&A section, and I'll go on a whole rant. God damn it. Okay. So, couple of interesting things right away. It appears as though this movie is going to lead the slate. That's at the very end of the article, but it's going to lead the slate. What that means is all of the movies that were announced at Star Wars Celebration will be coming out after this movie. That's the way that I understand it. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Maybe you guys will recall that when we first talked about this rumor, and the rumor was that you would have Mando Season 4 turned into a movie. When we first talked about this rumor, I didn't like it, actually. I was actually in the camp of don't do that. You know, I that's going to feel weird, desperate, and that's not really a good move. I don't think that's a good idea. And I have actually changed my mind on this, okay? Changed my mind. And I wanted to explain why I changed my mind. It really has to do with the Rey movie and with the lovely coverage and PR for the Rey movie. You know, what Mariana said to John Roca, I think was true. And here's really what it comes down to for me personally. I was imagining what it would be like for the next couple of years to be covering, following the news around the Rey movie. I kept thinking about what that's going to be like. I kept thinking about what's it going to be like to actually go to the movie theater and go watch the Rey movie. And like that just whole experience, okay? And it frankly is kind of a rotten feeling I get when I was thinking about that, you know? Like it just feels like years and years and years of, the kind of conversations that have been happening over the past week. I felt like what it would be like to sit in line for the Rey movie. What it would be like to have the sort of mixed feelings of, you know, I'm excited that Star Wars is back in the theater, but it's a Rey movie, and it's this Rey movie with Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy directing. And the more I thought about that, the more I physically felt ill and gross. Okay. And so when this news broke yesterday, I think the main reason that it changed my mind was I instantly replaced all of those thoughts and that vision with going to the movie theater to go see a Mandalorian movie directed by Jon Favreau. And I thought a lot about what it would be like covering, making content for, discussing on live streams, what to do with a Mandalorian movie directed by Jon Favreau. And then I thought about what's it going to be like to pull up to the theater and go get concessions and wait in line and sit in my seat and the preview, and then the room goes dark and all that sort of stuff for a Mandalorian movie with Grogu and Din Djarin and directed by Jon Favreau. And it was pretty obvious. It was pretty immediately obvious that that is a much better scenario. That's a much better situation. That's something that I could not only live with, but actually feel good about. You know what I mean? So that's the main reason that I've kind of changed my mind on this. And I think it's a much better move. You know, there's a lot that we have to break down. There's a lot of stuff that I would want to talk about, right? But at the end of the day, like Mando and Grogu, despite that third season, which is, tough. It's a tough one. It's not a good season. It felt like filler. It was really weird. Not great, right? But despite that third season, I would much rather watch Mando and Grogu than Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy Rey, 100%. And so it feels a lot better. I will also say that look at that film slate, man, and look at what they announced and look where the brand is at. And to have the next time we go to see a Star Wars movie, because it's been years, bro. It's been years years, bro. It's been years since we've seen a Star Wars movie. And I like going to the movie theaters. I like watching Star Wars in the movie theaters. Right? It is so much better to have that on the horizon with a veteran filmmaker like Jon Favreau than Charmin Obeidjanoy and even Dave Filoni. And I like James Mangold. I really like James Mangold. I didn't watch the new Indiana Jones. I've heard it's poopy buttholes, right? So even with Mangold, there's a little bit of like a trepidation there. It's like, but at least he's like a qualified veteran filmmaker, right? I love Filoni. He's not that. Charmaine Obeidjanoy did great work in the past. She is super underqualified. So I think it actually just makes a lot more sense to go back to theaters and to go back to Star Wars in the movie theater with a veteran like Jon Favreau, with characters we still care about, and not all this baggage that's coming with the Rey movie. So for me, man, like I kind of flipped. I did like a 180, and I'm actually really, really positive on this news, and I really support this decision from Lucasfilm. Like, this is a much better way to go about it than to have the first time back be the Rey movie. Because, like, let's say the Mando movie is good and people have a really good experience with it. I actually think that helps the Rey movie. You know, maybe marginally, but I think it helps the Rey movie. But I think the opposite could be true. If the Rey movie came out and was really bad, I think that hurts the Mandalorian movie. You know? So the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, this is a better way to go about it. I feel instantly better that is the direction that we're going. It doesn't solve all the problems. It doesn't like bring us back to the glory days. And like I said, there's a lot more that we're going to get into today, a lot of confusing stuff. But for my part, man, I got to say, W Star Wars. And I'm way more excited now to get back in the movie theater and watch Star Wars now that it's The Mandalorian. So that's kind of the first take, and I wanted to kind of explain why I went from initially thinking it was a really bad idea to thinking it was, you know, much better. So I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I saw some of you guys in chat saying, like, you know, I'm kind of on the same boat. I've changed the way I think about it. Maybe some of you don't. You know, that's where I'm at. Get a Leia movie done. IRL daughter will play her. I think she could be in that movie. I mean, Leia's around during that time. Here we go again with Andrew Lincoln. Guys, nobody knows who Andrew Lincoln is in the chat. So I know Jacob's like really trying to make fetch happen. But nobody knows who Andrew Lincoln is. We hope for the best, but expect the worst. Yeah, no, that's absolutely what we do. Okay. Next thing we got to get into here, man. There's some confusion and there's some conflicting reports on whether or not this is actually Mando Season 4 or a completely new original idea. So as far as I understand it, Deadline reported, and I think somebody on the Discord said this was even in the THR article, the Hollywood Reporter article, that Season 4 is still technically in development. So they might still do a Season 4 and then do a Mandalorian movie. And I know in the Deadline report, they said we don't actually know if Pedro Pascal will be in the movie, right? Elia says, Snyder said that there is the movie and then there will be a season after the movie. Wow, isn't that interesting? That's wild. Like, that's kind of wild, right? So they might do a Mandalorian movie, have that lead the slate, and then do Season 4 of The Mandalorian. Bro, that feels super weird, okay? That feels super weird. Like, do a movie and then a season? I think the only way to do it right would be do the season and then do the movie, no? Or it could be a different show. I'm telling you it's going to be, I would say it's probably going to be a different show. I think you can make the leap from TV to movies. I think that's a whole nother thing to go from movies to show. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know. That's really interesting, right? Which one will happen? I think it's still a little unclear. Now, let's talk about Pedro for a second. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, and I understand this sentiment, but a lot of people are saying, like, obviously Pedro will be in it, okay? But I'm not so sure. And in fact, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, dude, Pedro is pretty busy. You know, he's got Gladiator 2. He's got potentially Reed Richards and Fantastic Four. He's got season 2 of Last of Us. And I think he also added another project onto his slate, didn't he? And this part's speculation, right? But let's say hypothetically you wanted to shoot a Mandalorian movie and you wanted it so that Pedro only did voice work. Well, one way you could accomplish that would be by waiting until his schedule filled up to an absurd degree and then greenlit the movie. Right? So I'm speculating. I don't know if that's what happened, but how's he going to shoot this movie? You know what I mean? Like, how's he going to shoot this movie? And is that by design? You know what I mean? And I've heard some people speculate like, well, Fantastic Four might shoot in London. It seems like this movie would shoot in London. Yeah, I guess maybe, right? But for the trades to come out and say, like, it's unclear whether Pedro would be involved in that film is kind of weird. So I do wonder how that will all shake out and how that will go down. I mean, you would assume he has to be involved at some level, right? He's the voice, and you would think if it was a movie, you would show his face and stuff like that. But I'm really just not sure. I mean, it really seemed to me that Pedro had become comfortable with what it is now. And he had even done interviews, I think, last year about how he could play the Mandalorian forever because he just does the voice. They could put somebody else in the suit, right? So, yeah, I'm not really sure. Now, the rumors were that Star Wars was, like, hell-bent on getting a movie out into the theaters. And, you know, I put this in the video I did yesterday, but even during Ahsoka Season 1, there was something Jason Ward had said about how he was worried about Ahsoka Season 1 because he thought maybe they were either demanding a second season and therefore saving some dope stuff for Season 2, or potentially just going right into the movie. That the way Ahsoka ended technically left it open for them to just go do the rest of that story in the film. And there was question of like, okay, well, will you get Mando Season 4 and then just go right to the movie? Will you get Mando Season 4 and Ahsoka Season 2 and then go into the movie? That feels like it's going to take a long time. And if you really want that movie fast-tracked, you know, you got to kind of do that. So, I don't know. It's certainly a kind of weird announcement in that sense, but I think as far as like whether we or not we get a Mando Season 4 right now, guys, I'm leaning on no. I don't think you're going to get a 4th season of The Mandalorian. I think The Mandalorian will now culminate in the movie. The movie will be something like a soft setup for Dave's movie and maybe even Ahsoka Season 2. But that's kind of the way that I see that going down with Pedro, with a season of Mandalorian. Because I think of it like this, right? If they need the movie fast, but they're not ready to make Dave's film, taking the Mando Season 4 story, which again, John had written a long time ago, but he can repurpose it for a film. Taking that story, making it the movie is a good thing. It would allow that movie to come out fast, set some stuff up, do some Thrawn stuff, you know, show us the status quo of the galaxy, Then Dave gets time to really fill out his story with Ahsoka, Peridia, Balin, all that sort of stuff, which we're going to get into in a second. And then Dave can then do his movie. Now, we're about to talk about Ahsoka Season 2. And, I had that scoop back in October of last year that they greenlit Season 2. And part of that scoop was also the fact that they're shooting Ahsoka Season 2 in Pinewood over in London. Okay? Now, the more I think about it, that's actually really important information. When I had initially said that, I was like, that's so cool because that means like bigger scope. Going to Pinewood for Season 2 of Ahsoka as opposed to London, or as opposed to LA, huge, bigger sets, like bigger scope. The show should be much better, at least bigger. But now, the more I think about it, I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. So you're going to have a Mandalorian movie, I assume, shooting at Pinewood. Okay? I assume. Then you're going to have Season 2 of Ahsoka shooting at Pinewood. Then you're going to have Filoni's movie shooting at Pinewood. Likely. So what that means is they're beginning to probably build sets and have like this huge chunk of work between the different shows that's really all created by the same people. They're basically setting up to build their trilogy. They're setting up a more permanent place for them to build these stories in what should be this build up and culmination of the entire Mandoverse, right? So it's pretty wild. So that's kind of the way I see it, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it just makes sense that removing Mando 4 and going to that solves all the problems. It's like, okay, we have a movie, we're still telling this same story. We can take the beats of Mando 4 and make them a feature-length film. Dave gets to be there involved because he's producing, but he's also going to shoot Ahsoka over there. So it's like they're setting up base camp over in Pinewood. They're all going to be building this kind of stuff together. And then you go right from that into Dave's movie, maybe even using some of the same sets that John did in his movie. And Dave also gets to work on his chops. He gets to be there as Favreau makes the next movie. And it's this really cool through line. So like a lot of that's really interesting. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it just makes sense to me that maybe you're not getting that season. Maybe there's wires crossed. I don't think you're getting that season. And I think instead you'll have that culminate in the film, although that's just kind of speculation for now. So I do wonder what you guys make of that, of course. That's my thoughts. What do you think? You think we're getting a season 4? Or are you more in the camp of like, nah, like we'll probably get the movie, then we'll get Ahsoka, and then we'll get another movie? What do you think? Someone said CNN deleted the Rey article. I've heard that. I mean, look, I've heard that. Do you think they're going to cancel the Rey movie? Because that's what you're basically saying, is that you think they're canceling the Rey movie. Chat, do we really think they're canceling the Rey movie? Like, let's be real. You guys think they're canceling the Rey movie? CNN removed it. Yes, I know. That's what we're discussing right now. Like, I gotta say, no chance in hell. Maybe they just kind of like keep it at arm's length, like all the other movies that have fallen apart at Lucasfilm, and then 3 years from now, Kathy will be like, that was just a rumor. You know what I mean? Maybe. But I don't think they're going to cancel the Rey movie. You know, there's an element here. Well, let's talk about Ahsoka. Let's talk about Ahsoka before we get into more of like the doom and gloom and stuff, because I want to talk about Ahsoka Season 2, and then I want to talk about, like, look, is this Desperation from Lucasfilm? Which, spoiler alert, yeah. Josh, talking to my normie girlfriend, and she sees no problem with the making men uncomfortable situation. Well, you know, look, here's what I'll say about that. And I'm going to give credit to the critical drinker here, because, you know, he nailed it in his video. I thought it was actually a really good video. And that's why I kind of tend to say that I think the drinker is like one of the good ones, you know? he still plays the game and still does things to make things, salacious and play the attention economy game. But at the end of the day, like I do think that the drinker is one of the good ones. He had said in his video about the situation that the men that Charmin was talking about making uncomfortable were like these really horrible people in her country that would like pour acid on women's face and like do like just horrible, really gross shit, right? And a lot of the documentary work that Charmin, this is why I continue to say, even though it triggers some of you guys, I continue to say as much as I can that the documentary work that Charmin did is good work. And I don't want to crap on that in any way, shape, or form. Some of you guys lose your mind when I say that. But it's true. The work that she did was about real issues where women were really being taken advantage of, and it's fucked up, right? And she deserves praise for that and for her bravery. And insofar as the comments that she has made apply to like those men, that situation, and that worldview, it not only is it acceptable, it makes complete and total sense, right? My issue is that Kathy picked her to helm the next Star Wars movie. And she's just simply not qualified. And there's this whole history of her activism, which I think it's just human to say, hey, this person's an activist that said some weird shit years ago about making men uncomfortable and then applying that to Star Wars. And you can't really blame Star Wars fans who have had to deal with the Force is female, the Reva character, all sorts of situations in which it really does feel like sort of politics, overt politics, identity politics, those kind of situations are really affecting not only my ability to enjoy as a fan, but the discourse that the fandom has with itself. So my issue is not with Charmin at all. Charmin is Charmin. My issue is that Kathy hired her to be the director of the next Star Wars movie. And again, she's just not qualified. And her activism, which under almost any other lensing, I think would be understandable, cool, even maybe appreciated, maybe even championed if we got real, right? And we weren't just being like shitty in the chat. Like, let's get real. Like, that shit's whack. Like, if you love America, part of loving America is the progress and freedoms that we have made. Some people think it's not far enough. That's fair. I'm open to those kind of conversations. But at the end of the day, I feel like there should be a pride that, like, like women in Saudi Arabia just got the ability to drive like a year ago. Maybe 2 years ago. And I don't know. For me, it's like, I find like, let's like be proud of like fucking freedom and shit, right? So again, like what Charmin is doing is like, it's all gravy. The problem is Kathy hired that person to do Star Wars. And now there's like all of these questions about how political, how overt, how are all of these things going to be addressed in Star Wars? And I think a lot of that stuff is fair. You know what I mean? I think it's fair. So your normie girlfriend's like probably right in some ways. Charmin says, I like to make men uncomfortable. And in maybe almost any other setting, that's fine. But again, if she's an actual activist that is talking about those sort of things, I think it makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, I guess that's my take. Probably a lukewarm take. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. And I was frankly, when I watched the Drinkers video on that and he brought that up, I was like, damn, dude, it's good. It's good that like all hyperbole aside and all like all the bullshit and all the people that get triggered and don't get triggered. It's honestly good that that dude is that dude and that he said what he said, because maybe there's a few of you that wouldn't have considered that point had it not come from somebody like that you respect and like and trust and thinks is honest about things. So at the end of the day, you know, it's good. It's good that the drinker did that. I'm going to continue to do it and try to, as best I can, sort of separate Charmine's activism with the fact that an activist who has no merit to be a feature-length filmmaker should probably not have gotten the job for a very important Star Wars movie. Is that good enough? Does that trigger everybody? Is everybody upset about that? Please let me know how upset you are. It is an interesting take, though. Like, I get it. I get why people are upset. And I get why some people say it's not a problem. At the end of the day, it's pretty disastrous. Like, the all of that aside, you know, everything that I just said about Charmine, I don't think you can deny that the past week has been horrible for PR in Star Wars, which is what Mariana had brought up to Mr. John Roca before he lost his mind. So multiple things can be true at once. You know, we can find the nuance in Charmine's comments. We can also say, this person should not be the director of the next Star Wars movie. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, that person should not be the director of the next Star Wars movie. I feel very strongly about that as well. So, that's what it is. Okay. Let's talk about Ahsoka. Oh, man. Ahsoka Season 2 has been greenlit. Let's go. Chat, let me know. Are you excited or are you furious? I remember when I scooped this in October, one of the best sources that I have told me Ahsoka officially greenlit and is going to be shooting in Pinewood. And I remember I shared it 27 minutes later. My Time to Shine Hello shared it, acted like she had a scoop. She probably literally just copied me because she knew I actually had good sources when it came to Star Wars. Regardless of all of that, that was real. It was true then. It's true now. Ahsoka Season 2 has been greenlit. It's going to be shooting in Pinewood, okay? I'm excited. I want it to be better, but I am excited, man. I'm excited. I want more Balin. I want more Ahsoka and Sabine. I want more Abeloth. I do want to know what's going on with Ezra as well. I wonder how much Ezra will actually get in Ahsoka Season 2. It almost feels like Ezra might happen more in the Mandalorian movie, which could be cool, and I'd be excited for that as well. But Ahsoka Season 2 happening. I'm excited. Like, again, I really liked the show. The ending was weird. There's some slow stuff. It wasn't the masterpiece that I was hoping it would be, but it was good, and I want a better Season 2. So I think that's kind of the number one thing. The next thing that's kind of interesting about this is they announced that it's greenlit alongside announcing that Dave is still doing his movie and that John is now doing this movie, right? That's kind of fascinating. And again, we were speaking about this earlier, but there's some debate here on what exactly is going on. Are you getting a Mando Season 4? Would they have maybe just gone right to Dave's movie after Ahsoka Season 1? And I think, you know, the one thing that was said was like, executives, Kathy really wants a movie. Dave and a lot of the creative, they really want more time to tell their story, right? They want more time to tell their story and explore those characters. So I think this is a great fit. And I also think, again, it works well with the schedule that they have. So they'll be able to write this thing knowing that the Mando movie's being made and that's going to kind of lead into some stuff that's happening there. Mando can also take on the brunt of the story in the known Star Wars galaxy, and Ahsoka can be isolated on Peridia for the most part, right? And I think there's a whole bunch of fun stuff to explore on Peridia. The Balin stuff is the most fascinating stuff in the season, right? And I still think it's Abeloth. I still think it's super connected to Abeloth and all that sort of stuff. So I like that. But I also think it's great that they're going to shoot Ahsoka Like, think about this. Dave's going to go. He's a producer on the Favreau movie. He's going to be there with Favreau as they're building sets, casting, shooting, editing, looking at dailies. He's going to be right there. He's going to be making his season of Ahsoka probably right alongside with the production for the actual movie. And I like that idea. I also think Dave is just kind of not ready yet for his movie. You know, I think he needs a little bit more time working out the kinks. And I think he needs to just get a better handle on the live action stuff, how to translate a lot of the stuff that he does really well in animation into live action. So for me, I'm personally like really excited that this is the direction and this is where they're going to go. And then I think when that is all said and done, you will have time and you will have a better Filoni that will then tackle his movie, which is likely also going to be on Pinewood, use a lot of the same sets, and John will be right there too. Right? So it's a good thing. I know there's a lot of people that didn't love Ahsoka, and I know it's kind of like a question mark. But I still think plenty of people are going to check out Ahsoka Season 2. I still think it's a W for the fans. And yeah, so I guess that's, for me, I'm like excited. I'm actually like a little bit potentially more excited because I was worried, man, like, are they just going to like kind of rush this to get to the film? Is it just going to become the film? Because, like, frankly, from Ahsoka Season 1 right to the movie, I don't know, man. Like, I would just be a little bit like, dude, does Dave really have the chops? Like, you know, sometimes it takes to like a couple of seasons in the NFL before a rookie really gets a sense of the speed of the game at the professional level, right? And it feels similar to that with me with Dave. It's like we've been watching him evolve and grow, and he's doing good in live action. But like Ahsoka Season 1 was like a 7 out of 10, you know, like a 7 out of 10 that I loved. But like a 7 out of 10. And we really want that movie to be like an 8, 9, 10 out of 10. So I think he needs some more time in the hyperbolic time chamber. I think the story needs some time to cook and to gestate and develop a little bit more. And I actually really like him being there in Pinewood. Favreau's involved. And so, yeah, when it comes to all that, man, I'm quite excited. I'm quite excited for Ahsoka Season 2, I think it's going to be pretty dope. I don't know. What do you guys think? I know a lot of you guys didn't like Ahsoka, but I know a lot of you did. So where are you at for Ahsoka Season 2? Tell us what happened with Theory now. There's nothing to tell. There's nothing to tell. I walked away from the Nerd Theory show. That's it. So, yeah. Ahsoka was like old people waving lightsaber and fighting. Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second, right? Let's talk about the lightsaber battling, because I agree that was a big problem with it. It was the lightsaber choreography. One of the things they said was shooting on the volume made it difficult to edit the lightsaber fighting. And I guess I could see why, you know, like my whole thing is like, well, just figure that out. But I can also like see how the mechanics of that might be difficult to get right. And if they're doing a lot more practical sets, going to Pinewood, building much bigger sets, which I think they are, there's still a volume in London. But I think they'll probably film a lot more of the action sequences without that. I think you're going to see much better lightsaber fighting in Ahsoka Season 2. I mean, again, I like Ahsoka Season 1. I wish, you know what I would love, man? I'd love to, like, hear what Dave would say if he was just speaking honestly and wasn't, like, you know, public or representing Star Wars or anything like that, right? Because I'd love to be like, hey, man, like, what do you think about Ahsoka Season 1? You know? I bet he would tell you there's a lot of room for improvement. You know? So, yeah, I hope Ahsoka Season 2 is much better, and especially on the lightsaber combat shit. For sure, that would be cool. What did I miss? Oh, Jesus, Carl. Why do people still think you and Theory have beef? You know, I'm not really sure. I can only assume that, like, Theory... I mean, I haven't really been watching his stuff. I don't really know what he's doing. I hear a lot of things, you know, and I see some stuff with him getting into it on Twitter and stuff like that. And Look, I think at the end of the day, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but the way that I think of it is, it seems like maybe I'm the only person that is kind of over nerd theory, over what happened, and feels comfortable with what happened, right? So if that's really what it is, if that's the scenario, then I mean, look, I can't blame the guy for feeling how he feels. I don't really know how he feels, but all I can do and all I can say is, as I continue to say, I got nothing but love for this guy. Gave me incredible opportunities for years. And, I got nothing but love for him. Like, he's got to walk his journey. You know what I mean? He's got to do his thing. And that's pretty much it. All I can say, though, I mean, for this, let me put it to you like this. There's not a part of me. There's not a molecule in my body. There's not a thought in my head. There's not a single atom of my existence that regrets walking away from the show. I feel awesome. And legitimately, it was a great time period. It was a great run. I'll always look back at it fondly. But it's over. You know what I mean? And in some ways, it's crazy because it literally feels like I might be the only person that realizes that, accepts that, and feels comfortable with it. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it is. Yeah, everybody has the right to feel how they feel about it. I completely get it. But I can't speak to how other people feel. I don't know how other people feel. And I don't even know how he's reacting. So all I can do is just tell you how I feel. Now you can do a 40K show with me. I mean, look, maybe when we get a little closer to the Henry Cavill stuff, brother, I'd be down. In all seriousness, I'd be down. But part of the reason I walked away, too, is because I'm doing so much comic stuff right now. I'm doing so much comic book work. And I'm really excited about Unity and some of the other projects I'm working on. I started drawing again. And I'm excited. I wanna do a lot of comic book stuff. So that's like a big part of why I walked away as well. And obviously time for family. But I will tell you this, Valrak. We get a little closer to that Henry Cavill stuff. Oh, whoo! Gonna have to talk about some Warhammer for sure at some point. We'll have to get on a stream. Okay. Last thing we've got to talk about here, guys. Last thing we got to talk about. And, frankly, this might be what most of you have been waiting for me to talk about with regards to this situation. And that is this a desperate move by Lucasfilm? Is this a break glass in case of emergency kind of situation with Lucasfilm? And I invite you, chat, to let me know how you feel about that. And I gotta say, it does feel like that. You know what I mean? It frankly does. I can't really recall the last time a major franchise put out an announcement of this caliber in a press release on January 9th. I cannot really recall a situation like that. Rings a little bit like firing Bob Chapek and bringing Bob Iger back on a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, it does feel a little bit like that, right? Now, here's kind of like caveat to that and maybe like a little bit of a curveball. The more I thought about it, I was like, it does. It certainly feels like desperate. But when Celebration was going on, we were all kind of curious and wondering, why wasn't there more about John? When Dave got his movie and they announced it and they talked about it, some of us were like, okay, but what about John? Like, because, there were long-standing rumors of John and Dave taking Mando stuff over to the movie side of things, right? And some of us were like, okay, but is John still involved? Like, is John still, like, you know, and then it was later revealed that, like, John's going to be producing on that movie. But there was this weird missing piece of the puzzle. It really did feel like something wasn't being articulated properly. And it's kind of interesting, you know, you get the announcement of the 3 big movies, and, you know, John's doing his thing, this, that, second, and the third. They talk about Skeleton Crew, Acolyte, etc. But a lot of us were like, but what's going on with John? Like, it is weird that you're, you know, making big announcements, elevating Filoni to directing movies. Very cool. But it's like, what's the deal with John? And one must wonder, was this a discussion already on the table? Was this something they were already talking about, but they couldn't quite figure it out? Why didn't they just talk about it if it was an idea? You know, was the plan changing? And one thing we know for sure is that the plan had changed, right? In 2019, when Kathy came out and had like a bajillion logos surrounding her head and was talking about all the different things that would be coming out, including like, what was that one property, Bones and Loves, or like some kind of thing that they had? Yeah, so a lot of that stuff obviously doesn't happen. But at the time, it was like, okay, they've got a plan. And the plan, especially around Mandoverse, I remember doing videos about Filoni versus Mandoverse, the Star Wars MCU chat. If you remember, throw a 1 into the chat. The Star Wars MCU. Talked about it a great many times. Yeah, it felt like that's the way they were going to go, right? They had a plan. It was going to be Rangers. It was going to be Boba Fett. It was going to be Ahsoka. It was going to be Mandalorian. It was all going to culminate in likely a movie, right? But that changed. The Gina thing happened. Shakeups to the Mandalorian. 2-year delay. That's still 2.5-year delay. That still doesn't really make sense. And then you get a super lackluster season in season 3. Drama between Pedro Pascal. No longer doing the Gina thing. Some of that story gets put into Mando 3, right? With some of the Rangers stuff. It definitely seems like there were a lot of changes that happened behind the scenes. It feels similar to Marvel, right? Marvel, a lot of changes going on behind the scenes. They kind of shift their plans quite a bit. So no matter how you slice it, that's something Star Wars was dealing with as well. So it's like, did they not announce anything with John at Celebration because they just weren't sure? Did they not have the plan figured out? Who knows? But regardless of that, it certainly feels weird to just make this statement via press release on January 9th. And now all of the movies that were announced at Celebration are going to come out after this Mandalorian movie? That's weird. A lot of people, and I've seen like different videos, I've seen different accounts speak to this, but a lot of people believe that this is damage control because of the Charmin Obed Chinoy comments and a lot of the PR that came with that. Okay? I think even Star Wars Meg believes that this was a move because of the bad PR with Charmin and all the drama and everything like that. And I wonder, like, what do you guys think? Do you think that's real? Like, do you think that is really what's happening here? That Star Wars, like, what, like, how were they? Okay, so you're saying yes. A lot of you guys are saying yes, right? Here's what I don't understand. How is this response in this situation surprising in any way, shape, or form? Like, are we the only people paying attention? What does Kathy even do over there, bro? Like, you're telling me that given the current state of Star Wars, hiring an activist to direct a movie about a character that is at a very, like, I guess the nice way to say it is the audience is divided on her. Really, I think that's a generous way of saying it. You know, this, like, again, like, I'm just kind of like cracking up, like thinking about John and the meltdown he had last week and the meltdown he had the week before as well, which was less televised. But Yeah, he was like freaking out, talking about how Daisy Ridley's a great actress and all this other stuff. It just feels like copium. Like, what? Like, am I living in a different reality, or do most people not like the Rey character? Like, I don't know. Like, again, like I don't understand. Like, you're Kathy, and you have enough sense to know that the sequel trilogy didn't go the way it should have, because she asks Bob Iger to take a break. Like, you guys remember that? She asked Bob Iger to take a break. They take a break from Star Wars movies, which is kind of unheard of. I mean, Star Wars was making bajillions of dollars. Disney paid like $4 billion for that franchise, right? She has the wherewithal to know we need time because we need to adjust things and get things back on track and get the fan base more engaged. And yet isn't aware enough to know that by making a Rey movie, you're going like right back there, right? So it's just like confusing for me. So how is anybody shocked at the reaction? Like, something doesn't add up. Let me ask you guys this. Does this reaction to Charmin Obed Chinoy, does this reaction feel different than all the other times? Like, does this feel different? Like, do you look out on social media and see maybe not just the usual suspects talking about how this was a bad idea? Or does it seem like just the usual suspects and a lot of people that you think would cringe at it, cringing at it? So it's like, okay, so maybe it is like a break glass in case of emergency type thing. Well, then I'm like, why are you making the movie? And how did you not see this coming? Like, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, like, I have trouble believing that Lucasfilm looked at the backlash over the past week and, like, finally decided to realize that it's not all just trolls and super toxic people. Like, what? So they just suddenly actually came to the proverbial Jesus? Like, they've now actually faced the music? I don't know. That seems pretty unlikely. I don't know. However, and this is kind of a popular theory, which is kind of interesting. What if it wasn't Kathleen Kennedy? What if it wasn't Lucasfilm? What if it was Bob Iger? What if Disney went over Kathleen's head and looked at all of this backlash and for the first time decided enough's enough? We need to alter this. That's a little bit more believable. That is a little bit more believable. It is more believable to me that Iger, after getting his ass kicked all last year, still facing down hostile takeovers, stock price in the tank, possible sales, that guy maybe finally fucking woke up and smelled the music, or some people around him brought it to his attention. That feels far more likely than Lucasfilm suddenly out of the blue in the middle of promoting a movie they shouldn't be making realize the error of their ways. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of interesting. And also interesting because it's the right move. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like everything's all gravy and everything's going great, but it is frankly the right move to say we're not going to go right into the Rey movie, and instead we will have Jon Favreau make a Mando and Grogu move. Like, that's good. Like, even if you think it's all being done in a flash, it's all, you know, crazy, and they're breaking glass in case of emergency and all that sort of stuff, which is possibly true. I don't think you can deny this is a good move. You know, and I think you're still getting, some belly aching. Some people maybe don't care. Maybe the brand damage is too much. It doesn't instantly solve the problem. It's still a good move. I mean, I feel like we can just admit that. It's a good move. So one must wonder if some of the rumors are true about, CNN taking the Rey movie off of the, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. All that seems, it seems crazy to me. I don't really think that's real. But if we lens it through this possibility of Disney coming in over the top, maybe. So I guess time will tell, but it is interesting that you get this announcement in the wake of, I think, some really bad PR. And I think one of the things, that maybe Roka doesn't understand, and maybe some of you guys don't understand as well, is that the discourse around this movie is going to be awful and exhausting. And a lot of us, even if we don't personally have a huge problem with an activist directing a Star Wars movie, because of the current state of the fandom, a lot of us are just over it because it's just going to be the same old discourse. It's going to be super toxic and it's going to be exhausting. And there's some people, and look, I know some of you guys are in the community, right? And you'll be like, but you can't placate people that have wrong thinking, don't like whamming and all this other stuff. And look, I understand that some of you feel very strongly about that. I think you're so fucking wrong. And I think that's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do. You could call it placating a section of the audience. I call it making a 4-quadrant project. Keeping the focus on entertaining and remembering that this audience is vast and diverse in political belief. You know what I mean? So I wonder if some person at Disney, maybe Bob, maybe somebody else, looked out and for the first time ever just kind of saw it for what it was. Because maybe some of the people that would have defended this years ago are no longer going to do that. And maybe we're all just so exhausted that the only thing that breaks through is just how much people are frustrated and how much people do not want this to happen. You know what I mean? So, Star Wars is going to Star Wars. This has been a journey going on for 4 to 5 years at this point. A lot of ups and downs. A lot of emotion, a lot of frustration, a lot of fighting, a lot of infighting, name calling. Look, I love Star Wars, but it has been horrible covering Star Wars over the past couple of years. And I just think that at some point you need an adult in the room, and you can't just tell the fans to be better or to grow up or to not believe the things they believe or to not be so triggered by this, that, second, and the third. You don't change the audience, you understand the audience, and you change the product. So this could be sign of life, proof of life. This could actually be a way bigger deal than a lot of us think, and this could be maybe a shifting point for Lucasfilm and Star Wars and maybe Disney. Because a lot of people are like, Disney, get your shit together. And I think being a little less overtly political is a part of getting your shit together, especially in a damn near Gilded Age. We're in an election year. Just pull your head out of your ass and just make entertainment. That's what I think. So maybe that's what's happening. Or maybe we're just watching them flail. I can't really decide, but that is absolutely a big part of the conversation. And look, I think it's fair to say, this definitely feels desperate. There's just no way around that. It feels desperate. It's also probably the move and potentially a sign of real change, which is what we all claim to want. So, yeah. That's the take. And what's up, Twitch chat? I see y'all going crazy over there. Appreciate you guys. Disney in panic mode, says Finto. Hey, Finto, I saw you streaming the other night, bro. I was like doing stuff, messing around on Twitch, and I saw you streaming. I silently watched a little bit of your stream. Seemed pretty fun. It almost seems like KK and Star Wars really like this kind of talk, so it makes way more sense that Bob was like, we switching this up. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Hey, sometimes it takes getting desperate in order to make real change. That is true as well. That is absolutely true. If I sniff propaganda in a movie now, I simply will not watch it. I'm done with that crap. And as is your prerogative, man. As is your prerogative. Can't blame you. What? Okay, this is kind of breaking 21 minutes ago from Bespin Bulletin. Jon Favreau, The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and Dave Filoni's crossover event film rumored to be a part of a trilogy? Hold up, wait a minute. Breaking news. A trilogy? Really? Let's check this out over on Bespin Bulletin. Let me get this pulled up for y'all right here. It says, according to a very reliable Star Wars insider, Mandalorian and Grogu movie and Dave Filoni's untitled Mandalorian crossover event film are a part of a planned trilogy. Yesterday was a big news day for Star Wars fans, and Lucasfilm officially announced the new movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which would see our hero, The Mandalorian TV series, Din Djarin and Grogu, venture onto the big screen. The film is set to be directed by The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau. Production is slated to begin this year. No additional details were shared regarding The Mandalorian and Grogu, not even if it was retooling the planned and previously announced fourth season of The Mandalorian, which was originally planned to begin filming late September, but was delayed due to the Writers Guild and the SAG-AFTRA strikes. Deadline, in their coverage of the movie, announced that claimed that the fourth season of The Mandalorian is also being developed in addition to The Mandalorian and Grogu. No other outlets shared this tidbit. I think THR technically did as well. And it's my belief that the film is retooling the original planned fourth season. I agree with him. I think that's what they're going to do. News of The Mandalorian and Grogu shocked many fans, but rumors of the fourth season morphing into the feature film started in the summer of 2023. MakingStarWars.net in July were the first to share that Disney and Lucasfilm were considering turning the fourth season of The Mandalorian into a movie. The option was being considered in the studio, but was dependent on how greatly impacted the production of the fourth season was due to the strikes. Yes, I believe he also came out and said it was not happening. I could be getting that wrong. Maybe it was like Newsnet that said that, but I'm pretty sure Jason was like, no, that's not happening. In December, Jeff Snyder also shared the Hot Mic podcast that he said The Mandalorian Season 4 has been turned into a film, and that it would be the next Star Wars movie to release in theaters. So what I remember is when Jeff had his scoop, Jason and others said, that's not true. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Somebody in chat help me out on that. The person that first broke the Mandalorian 4 movie news, Making Star Wars, shared on a YouTube video yesterday. The source told him The Mandalorian Season 4 becoming a movie has now informed him that the film is a part of a trilogy. The Mandalorian trilogy would consist of The Mandalorian and Grogu, being directed by Johnny Favs, the Dave Filoni directed Mandoverse crossover event film that was announced in April, and then an unknown third movie. Wow, that's pretty cool. My original source, who first told me of the season being a movie, has told me that this is going to be a trilogy. Making Star Wars went on to add, in his own sense of the situation, which is speculation, that the third part of the possible trilogy would only become a reality if The Mandalorian and Grogu was successful at the box office, meaning it can't be bringing in numbers similar to Solo and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If The Mandalorian and Grogu was a success, Lucasfilm and Disney would avoid or if it wasn't a success, they would avoid a third movie and just merely release the planned 2 movies in the crossover event. I'm going to add a caveat. Okay, we don't really have to get into that. I feel like that's, he's just saying what he says. Fuck it, I'll read it. I'm going to add a caveat which is that my sense on it is that it's a trilogy. If the first one connects, the first one, The Mandalorian Grogu, is a big film, they'll make 2 more. If the first one doesn't and makes Indiana Jones money, which is not making money, that's losing money, then they'll just do 2 already announced and wash their hands of it. That is kind of interesting. I think maybe that's another reason as to why they do this move so fast and so early. Is they just want to see if it's a success. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of interested as well. Like, is the Grogu movie, is the Mandalorian Grogu going to be a big success? I almost feel like it has to be. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like it's going to get that same jolt of energy that's, oh my God, first Star Wars movie in years, right? And I think people really love Grogu. Like, I'm a little over Grogu, to be honest with you, but I think a lot of people love Grogu. Like huge normie appeal, right? The Mandalorian obviously still a huge season, the biggest streaming show in 2023, and it had a down year. I feel like that movie is almost guaranteed to be successful. I also think if they put the right stuff into it and have some really fun beats, it might be one of the best, most fun Star Wars movies we've ever had. So I think that's dope. As far as the idea of it actually being a trilogy, that sounds really cool. So it seems like the plan will be release Mandalorian and Grogu, see how it does. How it does will determine how Dave makes his film. And maybe his movie then becomes that sort of second part of that whole Mandalorian trilogy, which really feels like Thrawn. Maybe some Abeloth stuff as well. And if that first movie does well, that would likely change Filoni's movie a bit, because that's now the second movie in a trilogy, and then they work on getting an actual trilogy put together. And I gotta say, man, that's just so much better of a plan than doing a Rey movie. Like, I'm sorry, that is the move. That's what it should have been the whole time. That is a good plan. That's a good idea, and that is frankly something that kind of excites me and would get me more excited about Mando shows and just the whole dang Mando Star Wars thing. I don't know, chat, what do you think? I think that's bananas, a trilogy. Maybe we're getting a Thrawn, Heir to the Empire type trilogy with Mando-verse characters. I don't know, that sounds pretty dope. What do you think, chat? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Reading Rainbow. That sounds like a more fleshed out plan. I agree. Let's see when that garbage comes out. Oh my God. Hey, Dirty! What's up, Twitch chat? Appreciate you guys. Weird, it won't let me use my T Prime badge. Won't use a Twitch Prime badge. Really? That is weird. That is weird. Hey, by the way, one other thing that we're going to do, guys. Because I thought this would be really fun, right? So we give a $200 GameStop gift card away each month to a lucky Nerd Venger member. But you know what I decided? We're going to change up how we do it. We're going to actually keep a running tally of everybody that's a member. And if you become a member on Twitch, you also are entered in to win the $200 GameStop gift card. So if you're a member here on YouTube and you've got Twitch Prime, you can give us the Jeff Bezos money over on Twitch. It costs you nothing. You take money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket and you give it to us, and you get an additional entry into winning the $200 GameStop gift card. Hell yeah. So get on over there and give me the Jeff Bezos money. But I see you guys over there on Twitch. Much love. Yeah, like my founder's badge, Josh. My founder's badge. Founder's badge? Are you talking about from Doc? The founder's badge for Midnight Society? Is that what you're talking about? Really hope John flexes his skills in the movie because Boba and Season 3 Mando was kind of trash. Yeah, that is kind of true. Amazon owns Twitch? Yes, Amazon owns Twitch. So a lot of people don't actually know this. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can give a Twitch subscription to one Twitch channel each month for free. Okay? So like the membership, I think it's like $5 a month, right? It's $5 a month over here on YouTube. Pretty sure it's $5 a month over on Twitch. You could literally do that for free. So basically, and I'll remind you guys every month, all you got to do is go over there and click a couple buttons, and you're automatically entered to win a $200 GameStop gift card. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. Pretty cool. So check it out. Okay. Founder's Badge on Twitch has a #1 as the sub badge for the first subscriber. Is that what that is? It does say first over there. You like my Founder's Badge, the almighty cucumber. No, I have a Founder's Badge for your channel because I was in your first 10 subs. Oh, that's dope, dude. I like them doing that. That's cool. But will I be a Nerdvenger? You will be a Nerdvenger. If you are a member on Twitch, you are a Nerdvenger. It counts as far as getting you into the Diamond Lounge. It counts as getting you into the streams, although I have to figure that out. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really sure how to do that yet. But you are a Nerdvenger. And in fact, we're working on new merch. Nerdvengers get 20% off our merchandise from the Teespring store. You will get that as well if you are a member on Twitch. So you can do it for free. Keeping track of all of that is going to be rough. I know. I'm going to make Elisa do it. So don't tell her, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. It'll be okay, though. All right. Anything else going on? Any other stories? Any other news? What else is going on, guys? Should we just get into Q&A? I'm so excited. I'm subbing on Twitch with Prime. My man, thank you so much. I think this Mando movie stuff is just what Star Wars needs. I do, man. I do. I'm trying not to get too excited. Show us the drawings, fam. I mean, I got a little sketch right here. It's just a little basic, this like manga character that I'm kind of building. Just a little sketch. I'm going to be working in digital, so I've got a little pad on the way so we can start drawing from the pad right to, why am I all blurry now? What the hell? Do we screw it up? That's where the focus is? Okay, cool. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I was going to say, am I going to have to be like that close to the thing? But yeah, so I'm going to be using this pad that I got, a drawing pad that's like hooks right into Photoshop, and I'll do like drawings and different layers and stuff like that. It was better fuzzy. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me, Coral. So yeah, that's just going to be fun, man. I'm excited. Look, I'm not a great artist. Not. But I'm just going to practice. I'm going to practice. I'm going to kind of get better at drawing, and I want to get to the point where I can do my own kind of like shonen manga completely on my own. You know? Written, drawn, and lettered all by me. It might take me a little while to get there, but that's what I'm going to start working on. Coral! Yeah. Not to be pessimistic, but we wait for all of this to actually come out before we judge anything that Star Wars does. That's true, but I mean, you know, like, simple fact. Mando movie, more exciting than Rey movie. Like, is that not fair? Is it not fair that, like, I'm more excited about the next Star Wars movie that I'm going to watch? I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, we got to see how the quality is. But I'm more excited than I was. Like, is that fair? Mangaka even have assistants, bro, so I don't know about all of that. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Josh is Andrew Lincoln. Who is this Andrew Lincoln person? I can't wait to rewatch the stream years from now and before the movie crushed our nerdy hearts. No! You don't say that, Dirty! Hey, Dirty! Why you say that? Hey, man, I was just writing in Chapter 3 of Unity, and I had a really fun scene with all y'all's characters, man. That's all I'll say for now, Dirty. Let's just say the beginning of Chapter 3, we introduce you guys, the end of chapter 3, you guys come up against a more main character, and let's just say it doesn't go great for y'all. Let's just say that. Let's just say it doesn't go great for y'all. Okay, let's get into the Q and the A's. Also, are people super chatting on Twitch and I'm not seeing it because I feel really bad about that? And I will figure out a way to pull up the super chats from Twitch as well. But is that a thing? Do people super chat on Twitch or no? Not as much? I'm confused. Either way, Hunting Dude is first in today. It says Disney being smart. What the fuck? Movie would get back normies that stopped watching Mando and get them to rewatch what they missed. W announcement. Nerdvengers for life. That's actually not the first question of the day. That was like a different one. Holy shit. That is a good point though. But I'm going to completely ignore it and go to the first actual thing. They send donations that are read out loud. Well, I don't have the talk to text enabled, so that shit ain't happening. Twitch is just donations and sub messages. Okay, I'll look into that. Kolb Dog says, "Let's go." Let's go. V says, "Worried that theory will be completely different at this rate without your guidance." Oh my. I think you're overestimating how much guidance I had on theory, man. Look, I think theory's gonna theory. You know what I mean? Like, I think theory's gonna theory. He's doing his own thing. He's on his own arc right now, and I think he's trying to make sense of his place in all of this. And I think he's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's going to be just fine. And maybe we'll link up back down the road. I mean, like, honestly, like, I have no ill will towards him whatsoever. I understand why he might be a little butthurt. I did leave the show, like, pretty quick, you know? I was basically like, yeah, I'm done. Let's do the show. It'll be a goodbye show. You know what I mean? So, like, I get it from his perspective. But I think you guys are, like, overestimating how much guidance and influence I have. You know what I mean? But appreciate the thought. Rosie says, watch the first and second episode of Echo. Very mid and uninspired. Not bad, but blah. I'll finish it for Vincent D'Onofrio. He had better be in it more. And as I said earlier, man, I like Echo, bro. Chat, are you guys crazy? Or am I crazy? Is the world crazy? What's going on? I thought Echo was enjoyable. Chat goes hard in the paint, says Rosie as a follow-up. Yes, that's true. You do go hard in the paint and faster than I'm ready for usually. So maybe you're underestimating. Maybe. Fair. Loved Echo through yeah, Echo's okay. Echo isn't bad. Dude, I really liked it. Is Andrew Lincoln in Echo? Andrew Lincoln plays the Echo character as far as I know. Yeah. I just realized you look like Butcher from The Boys if he turned into a suburban dad. I'll take it. Thanks. V says, sorry, but the negativity is contagious. He needs your positivity again. The echo chamber of anti-woke is insidious. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but things just ebb and flow, you know? Things ebb and flow. You know, maybe he's just going in kind of a different direction. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I haven't really been watching his content, so I can't really speak to that. I obviously am not inside the guy's mind, so I don't know what's going on there. But I mean, look, you guys will say the same kind of stuff about me sometimes, right? So, like, I did the MCU video where, like, I talk about how I think Marvel needs to man the fuck up. A bunch of you guys go on Twitter or go into other people's live streams or talk in the Discord, this, that, second, and the third, and talk about how I am now geeks and gamers. You know what I mean? So some of this is just a little bit of like that hyperbolic internet dialogue, you know? As content creators, like, you know, like we make the content, we do the streams, we have a sort of vibe have a sort of feeling that comes with it. And I think sometimes when we change that, the audience can react in a negative way. So this happens in gaming. So if I were a Call of Duty channel, okay? So if I was a Call of Duty channel, but I just don't like Call of Duty the same, and all of a sudden I want to do some Apex, or I want to do some Valiant, or I want to do Fortnite or something, a lot of you guys would be upset. You know what I mean? And people would be like, ah, man, like, I just like Josh doing Call of Duty. Don't ignore us on Twitch. I'm not. All right, I was a little bit. But give me a goddamn break here. I got like 4 chat windows open. I'm trying to get to everybody's super chat. Does anybody understand how fucking difficult my job is? I get in here and I talk about nerdy shit and freak out and make points, and you guys don't know how hard it is to get in here and talk about nerdy shit every day and not have a real job and not clock in. Okay? You don't know my life. You don't understand how difficult this shit is to sit here and talk. Okay. So now I'm going to go back over to this chat window. Jesus. Okay. Bro, I got a notification. It's not on YouTube for me to go back and watch it in my subscriptions. Yes, Rosie, that is on me. Again, we were trying to get the Twitch people in there, and by getting the Twitch people in there, I kind of screwed it up for the YouTube people. That's like the TLDR. So I'm going to fix it. We're going to go back to regular. Hype train means that we're giving you subs and money. Oh, is that what that is? 100 bits? Subscribed Prime? Somebody gave me $1 over there? Okay, I'll get better at this. Hype train. Let's go. Here, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Okay, pretend that the hype train just started. Oh shit, hype train! Holy shit, hype train! It's a fucking hype train! It's a fucking hype! Ah! Okay, is that better? Jacob says with the 10 spot, hey Josh, love your channel and how you're always open-minded. Watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Highly recommend it. Also, wonder about your thoughts on the highest demand skills post-AI and post-labor. Yeah, I'd say maybe gaming, some forms of therapy. I think, you know what I really think? This is the real answer. I actually think in a post-labor economy, experiences are going to be really important to people. So community kind of things like the Nerd Vengers and, getting together in a community, going to actual events with people, experiencing things together, whether it's gaming or whatnot. Community is going to be a big deal. I think there'll be certain things that we don't really trust to the robots. So there'll be, some kind of stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of my answer. But who knows, man? Who knows? It's going to be crazy. We'll see. Oh, dude, Atoska, you just nailed it. So here's the real thing that I keep wanting to share on Twitter, but I just haven't tweeted it, and I'm just not sure how people would feel about it. Okay, so I'll experiment by explaining it to you, chat, and we'll see how you guys feel about this. Once the robots take all the jobs, all of them, we're all going to have a lot more time to work on our Warhammer armies, our miniature assembling and painting, and getting better at Warhammer in general. Once the jobs are gone, we're all going to be building Warhammer armies. And I can't wait. You want to talk about utopia? Utopia is humans not having to work and going to war with their plastic miniatures. Oh, I can't wait. If that happens, though, what about income and living? Yeah, that'll just be taken care of for you. I don't know how, but it will be. Who will be able to afford them? Why would they cost anything? In a post-labor economy, why would they cost anything? You guys are asking the wrong questions. The question should be, what army should I get into? How should I start my painting exercises immediately? Oh my God, Josh, you're right. How do I be so cool like you? Those are the right questions. You guys are asking the wrong questions. Like, do you remember during the strike when everybody was literally going on a picket line because they were like, dude, don't let that robot be taken advantage of by capitalism. Take advantage of me instead. That won't happen anymore. Anyway. Klaus Schwab says we'd own nothing and be happy. This means no Warhammer. Yeah, well, that is why he's wrong. Okay? And he probably plays Tau, too. Motherfucker. Renee says, I'm pulling for Echo. As the husband of a person with a disability, seeing someone with 2 disabilities kick ass is pretty effing cool. Just my opinion. No, I hear you on that, Renee. I hear you on that. And I think some of her, disabilities are a little bit endearing. Like watching her struggle, watch her figure all this sort of stuff out. It's kind of cool. I genuinely like the show, and I'm genuinely excited. And I'm following the character. I like the character. Real talk. Mariana, again, I appreciate you. We already went over your question. So I just want to say thank you again for the support and say I hope you have fun meeting Gina. Kendall says, it's a good TV show. Not perfect, but the subtle things like music make a difference. By the way, DD saying, I've been watching them all night, took me out. By the way, DD saying, I've been watching them all night, took me out. I don't remember that part. What part is that? Is that in episode 3 or something? We just ran a train on Josh. Wait, what? The hell's happening over here? Choo choo! Hey, more hype! Let's go! Hype train! Bro, look how many hype train emotes I have. That is pretty cool. I'm guessing the train is your name is supporting the hype train. I never understood Twitch chat. Says Nuck and Futz. Amen. Me neither. Okay. Justice Clemetti with a $30 holla, very generous, says, well, I think it's actually a 20, but that's cool. Says, Griffith did nothing wrong, Josh. If you know, you know. Take my money. God damn, bro. What a wild take. No, Griffith is a monster, and you can kind of see it right away. One of the things that was interesting to me was just like, as I was reading the beginning of the Golden Age arc, you can kind of clearly see how twisted Griffith is almost immediately, because he just wants to possess Guts, and he just like wants him and wants to own him. And there are a couple of like lines, and there's like a couple of ways that they're delivered that make you realize that like the whole idea of the Bailet being presented to him actually makes a lot of sense, and that he is actually a pretty horrible person almost immediately. So I know you're probably just goofing around, but like, nah, man, like he definitely does some super fucked up shit. And then ultimately what happens during the eclipse is like, yeah, pretty fucked up. But thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate the support. Cuz says, I'd rather have Luke and Ahsoka rom-com. You know what? Sounds kind of nice. Why not? Shogun Orta says, this feels like they Jedi mind tricked us into liking the Mando movie with at least it's not the Rey movie. Oh my God, that's actually brilliant. Do you guys think that's what's going on? Did they just Jedi mind trick us into getting excited for a Mando movie by making us really upset about the Rey movie? Hey, Josh, sorry to ask again. EQ, here's what I'll say to that. I'm not going to give you exact numbers, but I will tell you this. Money had nothing to do with it. I was very well taken care of with Nerd Theory. And I actually think, without going into details, Theory would basically pay me what was for a normal person like a salary. I was paid very well to do Nerd Theory. So it had nothing to do with money. It just really and truly had to do with I felt strongly that chapter was closing. I wanted to go out on top, and I wanted to kind of retake my Mondays and also just have kind of complete control of my life for the things that I want to do, the comics and the family. So like, I don't know if you guys noticed, like I don't really do collabs. Like, have you guys seen me do a collab recently at all? Like, I don't really do collabs. And it's not like, I think collabs are a great idea. I think they can be really cool, but I'm not collabing right now. Like, I'm not really doing that. I don't really want to do that. You know what I mean? I want to come in and do my streams, control my streams, do for my community, make my videos, and then I want to work on my comics, and I want to so that's kind of more where I'm focused on, you know? Yeah. So that's how I will answer that question. Philip Hatch says, Favreau has to bring Iron Man 1 feels to Mando. Yeah, I mean, dude, Favreau himself, too, you know, it's kind of interesting. I hadn't really considered this until now. Favreau himself might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Because, I mean, Mando 3 did get kind of clowned on, and things are kind of in flux. And Jon Favreau's fucking Jon Favreau, right? That sounded weird. He's not fucking himself. He is Jon effing Favreau is what I should have said. Meaning, like, he might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And that could be cool, man. I like it when people have a chip on their shoulder. That's kind of cool. Maverick Pilgrim says, how do these Star Wars announcements impact the Acolyte? I don't know if they do impact the Acolyte, other than the fact that I think Acolyte might have also been filming in London, but I think it was technically not Pinewood. So I'm not really sure how it changes the Acolyte. Logan says, could this move be Heir to the Empire, Ahsoka Season 2 be Dark Force Rising, and Filoni movie be The Last Command? Also, box office over-under for this movie. I feel like it's got to hit 700 mil. And I feel like maybe in a post-pandemic box office, 700 mil is really nice. But I kind of feel like the Grogu movie could crack $1 billion. I don't know. I feel like it could crack $1 billion. I feel like it has that much mass appeal, and people like going to see Star Wars in the movie theater. So that's kind of what I think. But yeah, we spoke about maybe the possibility of this being a trilogy now too, which is pretty cool. So there you go. Dakota F says, so Star Wars has taken 7 years off from the theater and they are still scrambling? What the fuck? KK has to go. Oh, I 100% agree with that sentiment. It is wild that they're still scrambling. And I think the Rey movie, I think they just understand how scrambly that's going to be and how much, I mean, they're just not ready. So this could also be, you know, part of that. Chillin says, I'm going to be that guy and remind you that everything you said about the Mando movie is a good thing, is what I said back when the rumor broke. We can actually have hope for this movie. Nerd Vengers for Life, take my money. Well, that is a fair point. You're right. I was wrong. But let's just move on. You know what I'm saying? Sami says, if not the Grogu film, what would be a better movie for the return to cinema? Also, do you think the Acolyte or Skeleton Crew trailer at the Super Bowl? I don't actually think you're going to get either of those trailers at the Super Bowl. I could be wrong. I would say this might be the best one, man. This might be the best one because I want to say Filoni, but like I feel like Filoni's just not ready. I will feel more comfortable with Filoni doing a movie after he produces and works closely with Favreau on one, does a better season 2 of Ahsoka, and then gets started on his movie. I will feel better about all of that if that's the way it goes. Ferner87 says, what's up, Josh? Hope all is well. Appreciate you, man. All is well over here. I hope it's going well for you too, man. Philip says, could Dave's movie take us into the First Order? It's possible. I assume there'll be some connection there. They're not going to act like it doesn't exist, and they're not going to retcon it. Star Wars just tweeted? What did they say? What did Star Wars say? Star Wars! Star Wars! Wait, what? Ahsoka season 2 now in development with Dave Filoni. Fucking yeah, let's go. Fucking W. That's a big W. Boom. There's my tweet. Go like the tweet. Make me Twitter famous. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know about the first order thing. It could be for sure. Delta Dan with a 10 spot. Very generous, brother. Says, I'm with you 100%. I was not as worried about her comments as I am worried about her resume. A man or woman with her resume should not be directing Star Wars. Pumped for Mando and Ahsoka season 2. Nerd Adventures for life. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, that's the thing, though. That's why it's important to say that and to really speak through it, because Lucasfilm, it feels like part of their strategy has been and probably will continue to be, oh, if you don't like it, you're just sexist or you're bothered by her activism. And it's like, I just want to draw that line on the stand immediately and be like, not only do I have no problem with that, I actually applaud it. It's completely separate from Star Wars, which is actually the problem, but I have no problem with her because of her personal beliefs or political beliefs or the activism that she has done. I think she's not qualified for this job. I don't have confidence that she will do a good job, especially working in that regime and within that system, you know? So that's kind of what it is. Let us see here. Rosie gifting 5 memberships. Holy crap. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Efren Knightley says, life's been bleak. Got kicked out. Friend died. Uncle died. I relapsed. I was forced into asylum for 3 weeks and out. Can't find a spot to live. Thinking. Well, look, that is obviously a terrible confluence of circumstances and situations. When life is falling apart and spiraling, it is very difficult to take yourself out of just going through it and try to think more broadly in terms of what your life could be. So, all I can tell you is this. No matter how dark, dire, or depressing life gets, you have a power, an incredible power that is called choice. And you have the choice to make meaning and take action. So what does all of this stuff, what does all this horrible stuff mean? You get to decide that. Even if it's not real, you get to decide that. And then what are you going to do about it? You get to decide that. I'd recommend Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Experienced maybe some of the worst atrocities you can experience in life. He was a Jewish prisoner at a concentration camp. And a lot of what he talks about in that book was this point in that experience where he decided that the Nazis could do anything to him except make him think. He could choose how he thought, no matter what else was going on around him. And we're talking about horrors that are, you know, almost unthinkable. But what you think and how you act and those choices, nobody can take that away from you. So I wish you well. I hope that you get through that darkness. And that's all I can really say, brother. Juicy says, KK was not wrong. Let her cook. Wait, what? That's got to be a troll. Elijah says, Josh, you can't talk about Star Wars because you're a man. Stop being toxic and appropriating women's brands. Hashtag leave women alone. Hashtag appropriation. Aw, man. Is that true? Is that true? Well, that's too bad. Hunting Dude says, Disney being smart. Oh, yes, this was where we were earlier. Yeah, I actually do agree. I think it's a W announcement. I don't know if it's even Disney, or it could be Disney. Maybe not Lucasfilm, though. Wouldn't that be interesting if they went over the top of Kathy? That would be wild, because at some level, I'm going to be like, yo, why didn't y'all do this much sooner? Like, for real, for real. Why didn't you step in sooner? Because there's been a lot of, I don't know if you noticed, there's been a lot of damage done to the brand. Why didn't y'all step in sooner, right? Go to Star Wars official account. Oh, I know. I already liked it and retweeted it. Are you guys telling me that you didn't retweet my tweet and like my tweet where I said that's a big W? Hello? Josh, would you collaborate with Asmongold and Emiru? Yes, but I'm probably small potatoes to both of them. I like both of those people, honestly. I'm a big fan of Asmon, actually. I haven't really seen too much of what's her... am I saying her name right? Emiru? 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 But yeah, no, I mean, I'd probably collab with them, but also I'm not doing collabs anymore, and I'm just a shut-in curmudgeon comic book writer. I write manga now. So probably not. Carl says, this is a shift in Disney actually caring about PR. I'm skeptical. They need to deliver a damn good movie, and Filoni is working his butt to get his chance, and this other activist just gets a blockbuster. That is actually a really interesting point, but that's a great way to frame it because it's about merit. Filoni, literally the Padawan of George Lucas, was creator of some of the best Star Wars content ever. I mean, come on, Clone Wars, Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch, Rebels. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. And that guy's working his way up, doing it right, and then we just get the... just Charmin Obed Chinoy. Like, where's the merit? Like, how is the merit? I don't know. Just if somebody could make sense of that, to me, that would be great. Isaac, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I understand. He made Omega. I know. He should get an Oscar for that. Angel Stark says, almost 2 years. Let's go. Also, will there be a Pedro in the movie? LOL. I am really not sure, dude. That Pedro question is a really good question, bro. You would assume yes, but then again, he's a busy guy. Like, literally, what if they just waited for his schedule to fill up, and then they were like, oh, we're doing a movie, by the way. Oh, you're too booked up? Sorry. You know. What One Piece arc are you on? We just got past the Chopper stuff, which was dope. And we're in the next part of that, which I can't really place. I'm not really sure what's even happening. But I know we just finished up the Chopper stuff. The Exodus says, any chance John and Dave's movies get filmed together, Lord of the Rings style at Pinewood? I think there's something to that for sure, bro. Maybe this rumored fourth season would actually be the third movie if it slaps. I don't think that, but I do think you're onto something. And I think the fact that it's all happening at Pinewood, including Ahsoka Season 2, is an incredible sign. So that's really good. And I would love for there to be something more that they're building, and they have these sets, and you know. So I'm pretty optimistic about it. Kendall says, A. Lincoln as Reed is honestly the best. Google him. I don't know who this A. Lincoln guy is, but I'm not Googling shit. Much love though, Kendall. Rosie says, I don't really care if Bob stepped in or if the Mando pivoted Desperation. I think it's the right move for the brand and the fan base. Well, there you go. Strong comments by Rosie. I agree. I mean, I still kind of care. Like, I kind of care. But I hear you. I hear you on that. Chillin says, almost forgot. Hail to the victors. Natty, baby. What does that mean? Is that a sports ball reference? Oh, you saw The Boy and the Heron? It was solid, but the first hour was really slow. Wow, that's kind of interesting because it beat Across the Spider-Verse. Michigan. Yeah, I've been to Michigan. What of it? Michigan won the national championship. And what sport? What sports ball did they do that in? How long was The Boy and the Heron? Foosball? Oh, nice, man. I used to play a lot of foosball. Did you guys ever spin the foosball ball in when you put it into the table so it kind of does a little backspin to your pieces? I wonder if they did that in Michigan. The Pineapple Guy says, is the success of Godzilla -1 a verdict of Hollywood? Do we need to reduce budgets and encourage creativity again? 15 mil versus a standard $200 million movie. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. I mean, it's not like an ending or a final chapter, but these things have happened before, right? Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Look, these things have happened before. Do you guys remember the Blair Witch Project? Anybody? Anybody? Blair Witch Project? I think they made it for like $10,000. Something like that. Or maybe they made it for like $1 million or something. Huge phenomenon. Massive success. And then they did a bunch of found footage things. Got some good ones. Got some bad ones. So, yeah. I bet you'll get something like that in Hollywood as well. Josh Power, like that name, bro, says, just got my copy of Ultimate Spider-Man and had to get to that sweet $20.99 variant cover. That's cool. That cover does look dope. I'm not going to lie. Did you read it yet? Did you enjoy it? Let me know. Jamro30 says, I see there is a way to push the Rey movie if Kathy Tokioski's young for longer and get rid of Fav. What? I need to try to make sense of what you just said. I see is a way to push the Rey movie. And Kathy Tokioski young for longer and get rid of Fav. Hey, Jamro, what the hell did you just say to me, bro? Kevin says, Andrew Lincoln plays Rick on The Walking Dead. Like, is that Pickle Rick? Pickle Rick! Pickle Rick! Is that what that is? Is that what you're talking about there? I didn't know Andrew Lincoln played... Is he the new Rick voice? I should look this guy up. I should look this guy up. Huh. Andrew Lincoln. Interesting. Bro took a blinky before typing? Yeah, or during it. While he was typing. I'm not really sure. Hey, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, dropped a full trailer? That's interesting. I didn't know The Walking Dead was still making shit. Oh my gosh. I remember that show from back in the day. First couple seasons were pretty good. I think first, second, and then maybe the third. Which one was the prison? Is the farm is season 2 and the prison is season 3? Is that what it was? Because that shit was really good. And then it just kind of does the same shit over and over and over and over and over. You know. I did like the early Walking Dead, though. Lightning Slug says, you are a true entertainer. I find myself genuinely laughing during these streams. Bravo, brother. Hey, thanks, man. I just found a way to... Oh, my God. The guy from Love Actually is back in The Walking Dead. I'm seeing him in the trailer right now. Dude, that guy from Love Actually would be good in the MCU, actually. That dude's good. Sorry. Just got distracted there. Yeah, so I figured out a way to monetize kind of being the class clown. You know, all my teachers were like, "You're a leader, but the bad kind of leader. You're a class clown and a degenerate and all this other stuff." And I said, "You know what? I'm gonna be a YouTuber." So, basically, teachers don't know what they're talking about. Am I right? You know what I'm saying? All right. I think that's going to do it for us today. I will, I'll hang out in the chat for just a little bit, and then we got to get on out of here. You showed them. I did, didn't I? Yeah, we sure showed them. Ha ha ha. Probably be a video out tomorrow. Probably some videos over the weekend. I think I want to touch on this whole trilogy thing. Mandalorian trilogy kind of sounds fun as a video. That could be cool. Waiting for some Marvel news to drop. Hoping some news drops soon. But yeah, either way, guys, appreciate you being here. Appreciate the time, attention, the subscribes, the member chats, the super chats, the Jeff Bezos money. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Question, Josh, why are you the best at what you do? I don't know if I would say I am the best at it, but I mean, you know, practice. Practice and, I don't know. Just practice, I guess. Josh, can I borrow $20? I'm fresh out of $20, bro. I'm sorry. Theory says he misses my gentle touch. Something like that. Question, Josh. Why are you Josh? Probably practice and just practice, I guess. We're talking about practice. I know, right? Love the Blair Witch. Yeah, Blair Witch was kind of crazy. I don't really like horror movies, but I watched that for sure. I'm going to finish Echo later today, too. I got to get over to the comic book shop and get my physical copies. And then maybe we'll do the giveaway on Friday so I can get y'all some copies. Josh sacrificed 2 white doves to the YouTube gods for his skills. Every morning? That's a lot of doves, bro. I need $20 more variant covers, or you could give me one of yours. That's an interesting one. Yeah, we'll see. There's no comic shops around here. That sucks, man. I know some people have that problem. It sucks. You probably just have to buy it digitally. Yeah. Am I doing the GameStop gift card? Not today, because I want to get it all plugged in, and I wanted to give people a warning so they could get over on the Twitch and get an extra entry. Hey, by the way, before I get out of here, I started playing Marvel Snap again, and I've been having fun, man. I've been having fun playing Marvel Snap. I don't know, some of you guys still into it? Some of you guys still playing? I really want to get the Living Tribunal. That card seems awesome. How long was Unity just words on a page before you found an artist? I'm writing an original hero story now, and it's hard to keep going without visualizing it. I got some pages done. It's kind of hard to say. I got some character designs done, and I got some pages done. We ended up switching artists. But there was like a moment where I had like 2 artists that were working on some stuff just to get some designs. I think designs are pretty cool to have, to help you, visualize things. But I think I did about a year of just strict storytelling, work. So I can't stop playing Cyberpunk. My life depends on it though. Yeah, dude, Cyberpunk is, pretty fun, huh? And they got all the new updates and everything like that. So what Star Wars content are we going to get in 2025? Just Andor Season 2? Andor Season 2, maybe you'll get a Ahsoka Season 2 as well? I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, some of y'all still playing Snap, huh? Should I get into Elden Ring? Dude, Elden Ring's probably the greatest game ever made. Elden Ring is an incredible game. If you just love video games, man, I would just, yes, get Elden Ring. It's very challenging, but it's not as challenging as you think. It's challenging because you're going to want to mash the buttons to get away. You're going to not have your timing. Like, technically speaking, you can beat Elden Ring if you just stay calm, dodge, roll out of the way, learn the patterns of the enemies, etc. But Elden Ring is infuriating and amazing. So, highly recommend it. I was thinking about getting back into Elden Ring and doing another playthrough, because that game is dope. Yeah. Been playing the finals? Oh, okay. Never played it, but I missed the Snap streams. Yeah, Snap streams are pretty fun. Maybe the next time there's no news, we'll just do some snapping. What kind of deck am I running? It's like a what's it called? Come into play effects. So like Wong and Gambit. I think the 2 6-drops I have are Magneto or Doctor Doom. I also run Shuri and Mr. Negative. It's kind of rare that I kind of get both of them to pop off though, so I might adjust it a little bit. But yeah, I've been having fun. Yeah, on reveal. There you go. That's the one. Played a couple of games of Magic the Gathering. You talking about Magic the Gathering? Yeah, it's a fun game, man. We also got into the One Piece game a little bit. I bought Elisa a ton of cards for Christmas, and we opened them up and both made some decks. And that's really fun, dude. The One Piece game is fun. Don't forget about questions on Twitch. How do I find the questions on Twitch, though? So if I go to Twitch, and I go to my channel, how do I find the questions? Creator dashboard. Creator dashboard. Okay, creator dashboard. Where's the Huh? Huh? This is all so confusing. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? I don't understand. Okay, so I'm on that. Now what do I do? How do I do it? How do I do it? I don't see a way to do it. See the followers, unique chatters. Wait, what? Stream manager, maybe? Click default media browser. What? That doesn't sound right. Salespeople, no, I ain't buying shit. I don't know what that means. Alerts, analytics, community. It's probably not on community, huh? I will figure that out, but I don't think I'll be able to figure it out right now. Because I just don't see... I don't see any of that. Yeah. Bro's such a boomer. Yeah, I might be, okay? Holy crap. I'm liking Echo. In Creator Dashboard, second option, Stream Manager. Creator Dashboard, second option, Stream Manager. Stream Manager. This one? Okay. I am the Lord Vito with 100 bits. Cool. That's the only one. I think that's the only one. Stream Manager in Creator Dashboard. Stream Manager. All that just so I get the 100 bits and I say that Vito, Lord Vito. God damn it. I'm out. I'll see you guys Monday. Take a Friday off now. All right, everybody. Much love to you all today. Thank you so much for the love and the support. I appreciate it. Not No stream tomorrow. We will be back at it on Friday morning. Rosie says, I can't find you on Twitch. It's because I use underscores back when underscores were cool. And yes, they were cool at one point, so shut your mouth. Okay. Much love, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Videos throughout the next couple of days. Another stream on Friday. And remember, as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Hey, thanks for the Bezos money, Rosie. I appreciate it. Thank you. Another happy landing, man. Good one, you know? Little mixed feelings on the Star Wars news. That's to be expected. Holy crap, we had some breaking news. Good stuff all around. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of a shitty Marvel and Star Wars, I shall fear no evil. For the Nerdvengers are with me. And we will not go quietly into the night. We'll forge ahead until the sun shines on us again. Remember to open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt.